LLU OCTH 514 Final Project presented by Charlie, Mary, Brandy, Tammy, Julie, Gina. What are the efforts of social media on adolescents' mental health? Adolescence is the period of personal and social identity formation, and much of it is now reliant on social media. There has been a significant increase in the amount of adolescents who use social media. %92% of adolescents have some form of access to social media.
Frequent use of social media has been correlated to a rise in adolescent mental health problems, with depression being one of the most common. Researchers have also found that social media use is linked to reduced self-esteem and increased self-isolation. When adolescents use social media, they may begin establishing negative habits such as comparing themselves to others, which can lead to social withdrawal and isolation.
Oh my god, look at her, she's so fat. You are so useless. No, this is not good enough. Why I'm so ugly? Some symptoms of depression include continuous feelings of sadness or hopelessness, social withdrawal, change in appetite and sleep, feelings of worthlessness or guilt, thoughts of death or suicide.
Experiencing prolonged symptoms of depression can affect multiple areas of their occupations, such as an inability to engage in activities of daily living, difficulty socializing with others face-to-face as opposed to using a technological screen, and impairments in sleep, education, play, and leisure. This can also lead to low self-esteem, low self-worth, and feelings that diminish oneself. The purpose of this group is to use a variety of CBT modalities to help the participants understand the influence of social media on their mental health and to help them reframe negative thoughts and perceptions they may have about themselves stemming from their exposure to social media. This will positively influence their behavior, reduce their depressive symptoms, and thereby improve their participation in socialization. Another purpose is to help the group participants experience what it means to focus on the present through the use of dialectical behavior therapy, otherwise known as DBT.
The goal for this group is to create and promote healthier habits, routines, and participation in healthier alternative activities, and to have them develop healthy coping strategies for depressive symptoms so that they spend less time on social media and more time engaging in face-to-face relationships. This will also improve their face-to-face communication and social skills as they shift from spending less time on social media to spending more time connecting with community, family, friends, and peers.
In the first session, group members will participate in a scheduling activity that incorporates the CBT technique of behavioral activation. This activity will address their symptoms of depression and the associated isolation and avoidance tendencies they exhibit. Each participant will write out their current routines of activities, including time spent on social media, and the mood associated with each. They will then share amongst each other and collectively identify which activities are elevating versus depressing their mood. After this, they will be asked to create a new schedule for themselves that includes more of the mood-elevating activities and less negativity. This session will help the members become more aware of the effect that their daily routines have on their overall well-being, and they will leave with healthier alternatives of how to schedule their time.
In the second session, group members will be focusing on body image as they complete a worksheet addressing specific questions on how they view their body. This will employ the CBT technique of guided discovery. The activity will work to improve their self-esteem as they identify negative thinking patterns they have about their bodies, while also identifying positive attributes. Group members will leave the session with a new appreciation for the body they've been given.
In the third session, group members will engage in a real-life application of social media through scrapbooking. Scrapbooking targets mindfulness, a skill commonly assessed in DBT. For the first 15 minutes of the session, participants will use instant print cameras to take pictures of the things they find beautiful in their surrounding environment. They will then use scrapbook supplies to create and decorate a scrapbook page about the things they took photos of and share what they have created with the rest of the group. The main purpose of this activity is to allow group members to live in their present moment. Using a real-life application of social media can encourage adolescents to decrease time on actual social media platforms and increase face-to-face interactions.
In the fourth and final session, the adolescents, parents, or caregivers will be invited to engage in a game called the Body Language Game that they will all participate in together. It's a fun game that requires creative thought, and it is a powerful lesson in communication and how not communicating clearly can cause problems in relationships. This activity will promote in-person social skills and foster more meaningful relationships between the adolescents and their parents or caregivers.
Throughout the 4-week intervention, members will be asked to journal as a form of homework. This is a form of psychotherapy known as cognitive behavioral therapy. It is used to help patients keep track of their thought patterns and how these thoughts can directly impact their behavior. In the composition notebook, members will be able to share their thoughts, behaviors, and feelings about how they felt from that week's group intervention, if they feel as though they learned something new about themselves, where and how their time spent went, and more. The purpose of this activity is not only to have a written record and documentation of their thinking patterns, but also to allow the patient to use this period as a time to reflect. By allowing for this, the therapist is better able to help aid the client in reaching their goals.
The model that we chose is MOHO. This model seeks to explain how occupation is motivated, patterned, and performed. Our group activities have been created to increase individuals' motivation and form their daily routines and patterns to improve their occupational performance.
By engaging in the 4-week intervention group, the outcome for the participants will be that they will be able to elicit their feelings about the negative effects of social media and how it has impacted their self-esteem. They'll be able to reduce their screen time and improve face-to-face communication skills by establishing new routines. It will improve their overall well-being by establishing coping strategies for depressive symptoms, and they will learn more positive ways of thinking about themselves and modify the behaviors accordingly. Also, they can more fully participate in face-to-face relationships with others.
The outcome of the group will be measured by both the OTR and OTA. In order to get a baseline, before attending the first group meeting, each group member will complete a pre-survey regarding social media usage. At the end of the 4 weeks, the group members will complete another post-survey to provide feedback about their 4 weeks experience in group. The OTR and OTA will look closely at the members' journals for depth and amount of self-realization expressed in each person. The impact of the group on the participants will be measured by the extent they have created, promoted, and established new routines of behavior.